What's up, everyone? Welcome to another District Gooner Pod, brought to you by two Arsenal supporters in Washington, D.C. Steven, take it away, man.
Howdy, people. Episode 38. We're hitting this on a Wednesday night after our Champions League game on Tuesday. So we had Inter and Atletico just ended. They also went to pens. But yeah, I'm feeling good today, man. Happy hump day. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm feeling good too. Woke up. It was one of those things. So I tell you what, man, I'm actually traveling. I'm in Phoenix, and I know you're traveling too. You know, those of you who've been listening to the pod for a while now, you know we're traveling folks. And it took me 5 hours to get from the northeast to the southwest of this country. And on the plane today, I was thinking, I'm so happy we won, because all I was going to think about on this ride was, where did it go wrong? It was just going to be all over my head, dude. So I'm feeling good, man.
What could have been? What could have been? What could have been? Well, hey, we're here. We're in the round of 8 in the quarterfinals. First time in 14 years since we got there? I mean, hey, I'm feeling good. After the game, I think it's just, to say the game was pretty is a lie, right? That was an ugly game. Was the Arsenal performance great? No, but I think there's so many things to be happy about what happened. Right? Like the mentality, the fan base, the players, the passion, like it was there. The grittiness, it's not something you see from a typical Arsenal team. That's not who we are. It's a new era, bro. It's a new era.
It is, dude. I mean, it was to the point where Big Gabby after the game said, step up then, bro. Like, meet me outside, bro. Meet me outside. My center back,
player
dude.
Pushing the coach. I mean, that's not typical Arsenal, baby. This is a new era.
No, dude, that's King Kai, bro. Welcome to the club, man. That's my dog, dude. I mean, people are starting to realize just the amount of bite that he has to him, right? Like I told you before, he might look skinny, bro, but he reminded Konate just how strong he is, and we know he gave one back to Newcastle back early in the season. Not a lot talked about it, and now he's out there. Like, get off me, man! You're chatting too much before the game, bro.
And you got to have those kind of people for a game with Porto, right? For an opponent like that, you got to have people that can step up from themselves and their teammates. And we saw it yesterday, so it was great. Let's just get straight into the lineup. We talked about it last game, or after last game. And I think the only thing you expected a change with was left back. You thought maybe Zinchenko would come in. He didn't. He stayed with Kiwior, and Trossard was the only change out at the left wing. What'd you think? Did you have any feelings about it?
I was surprised that Trossard started the game. I have to be honest with you. I really wasn't expecting him to play at the start of it. Mm-hmm. And as the game went on, I also didn't expect him to play as long as he played. I have to be honest with you. But that was the only one. It was just a surprise, just because I really felt like Jesus. I mean, we've been sitting on this for 3 weeks now, but maybe it's a true message that, look, man, you really got to earn that starting spot back, dude. Because when you were out, Leo was balling. When you were out, Havertz was balling. And part of me felt bummed that he didn't get the start, but part of me felt respect to the manager, dude.
Yeah, I really had no problem with the 11 he put out at all. Roland Kiwior, he's been the guy at left back for weeks now. No problem with it. Trossard at the left wing. I don't have a problem with it. Obviously, we miss Martinelli, and I think the past 2 games we can see he probably would have made a big difference, right? The pace would have been there. Could have been getting by people easy. But Trossard, he's putting in the effort. I didn't have a problem with it. So, hey, let's props to the manager. He did leave him on long. I won't lie with you on that. The subs, we'll have to get into the subs because that was kind of interesting. He's waiting to pull the trigger, man. He was waiting.
Yeah, that was a big talking point for me as I was watching the game. And I think some people felt the same way online and maybe even in the stadium. It wore on a little too long, some of that, especially just because, I don't know, man. We'll get to it. I'm not gonna hit on that too much. You're right. So the game, one thing was cool about it. The stadium was buzzing, dude.
We were out there. We were ready. Absolutely ready. The champions at the Emirates. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, that was really nice, but I also felt some tension, some some squeaky bum time here and there, dude, from the stands. It had that kind of atmosphere too, until we kind of got the also important goal in the first half. But no, man, look, first 15 kind of went the way you expected it, didn't it? The one thing that stood out to me was they did have a higher line than maybe was anticipated, and they did have good possession as well in that first 15, but throughout the game, they were just not afraid to have their center mids and their forwards push on to our outside backs and our center mids. They were very tight, dude.
I will give props to Porto. I'm not going to say I like them because I don't at all, but I have to give them props. The way they came to play, I thought was very interesting. Maybe this is the way they always play. I don't watch them like that. But when we had the ball, right, with our back line, they pressed us very hard, right? They're just trying to get it out of the back line, almost hit the long ball. But then when they were playing the possession, it was very, very deep. But I think they were stretching us forward, if that makes sense. So they're playing goalkeepers to outside backs to center backs. I mean, Pepe plays back to the keeper, and it's like a 20-yard pass back. It's not just like a dink to him. He's having to hit it back to him. It's like they kept recycling it. And to Arsenal's credit, it was patience. I think it would have been easy to just send the dogs at them, pin your ears back, and just go. There was a controlledness in the press, which, first of all, didn't gas us out, and then it didn't leave any spaces for them, because the tension was there, man. Like you're saying, Porto gets on the ball, the tension is there. Like everyone kind of puckers up a little bit, like, because if another goal goes in, it's over.
It is, yeah, and they definitely had a couple of chances, to be fair to them, right? And yeah, every time they were about to shoot those, I was holding my breath. So I'll tell you what, though, the one thing about the game kind of going as expected, it was literally the 6th minute that I heard the commentator say, even at this stage of the game, they are in no hurry. He was just talking about a throw-in, dude, but just like, that's ridiculous, man.
So funny. And the referee is it's a big talking point from the game. I won't say he affected the outcome at all, but the control of the game just didn't seem to be there from the get-go. Wasting the time, no yellow cards for anything of that nature, then also adding on a minute, and then blowing the whistle screw it. Another injury happened, right? We're through extra time. It was like 3 minutes go on. The guy's on the ground. He gets up. They play the ball. He blows the whistle. It's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and I'll tell you something else, man, about the Emirates. I feel like Arsenal supporters don't know how to whistle with their hands, dude. And this is a big issue for me, because you watch some of the other games. I mean, even Liverpool versus City, you could hear their fans like whistling every time City had the ball. And that's something that I wanted to see a little bit more, is when they're wasting time, when they're taking their time, I want to hear those whistles instead of just, hey, hey! It's just like, come on, help us out, man.
I think it does make a difference, no lie. I mean, as a spectator, just watching the game, it seems to make a difference. We don't have those types of we don't have those type of atmospheres here in the States, but it does seem like it does make a difference watching on TV.
It does. All right, well, let's chat more about the first half. This pod is just going to be fully focused on the Champions League night, so obviously we're probably going to go about an hour or so on this beat. There was a lot to talk about. The first 15, Kiwi had a little saucy moment in the edge of the 18. I think he won the ball, and then he flipped it through his leg to Trossard. I think Trossard got that cross in, and then there he was. Bukayo, he got his head on it, bro, but my goodness, he's got to train more on the heading, dude.
That's become his thing. That header went the wrong direction. He just threw his head at it, had no clue what he was doing. That's what it looked like. He just threw his head at it. Yeah, but Kiwior, you can give him flowers for the entire game, man. He deserves them from a player that was on the outskirts, never even see him play, not even someone that I'd expect to see on the bench at the beginning of the season. Here he is, starting back to back games and proving why he's an Arsenal player.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I think in this whole run of games, that was his best performance.
I agree 100%.
Even defensively, dude. Even defensively, he looked good. He won a couple of one-on-ones. He was there to support and serve as backup. I think there was a little ball that got spilled at some point, and then he was there, and the tackling was good. He was up for it.
What I appreciate about him is the mistakes. If he is gonna have a mistake, he's like trying to dump the ball long. I think he knows. He knows himself well enough, and I appreciate that 100%. He's not losing the ball in our own third, trying to get out of a situation. He knows, I'm kind of locked up here. Where am I going to put the ball? Just tries to dump it down the left channel, tries to dump it into their back line. I'm cool with that. If we're losing the ball 60 yards away from our goal, we can recover. We're good enough. If we're losing the ball right in front of the goal, that's an issue, QBR. But give him his flowers for yesterday, man. I think he's going to stay in the starting lineup here going forward for a while, to be honest with you. I do.
Wow. I stand by my prediction that he does not play against Manchester City.
That's an interesting one. But I do see him starting games through the run-in. I really do.
Okay.
I think he's earned that.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I think he has earned it, and hopefully a few more opponents he can keep shining, man. This dude, I gotta be honest with you, for all of our listeners, I'll give you a little sort of behind the scenes here. We have a little doc. It's a shared doc, and we kind of just write thoughts on it as we're watching the game. And this one in particular, I mean, bro, there's like 3 pages of notes on this thing. So kind of just gonna go through these and call a few out. You wrote here in the first 15 minutes or so, you wrote Saliba looks off. Second giveaway off a header when he could have brought it down. Talk to me a little about Willow's performance, dude.
Yeah, I think he finished strong. But the start of the game, he just seemed, I don't know, he got ants in his pants or something. They were putting pressure on us. So they keep playing long balls into our back line. And it's either Gabriel or Saliba. And then it's basically daring them to head the ball back at us. We're going to win the second ball, and we're trying to push forward. That's what it seemed like to me. Saliba, I don't think he's the best in the air, right? He's gotten better. He's not the best. And there was a few moments where it doesn't seem like there's a player within, I don't know, I'll say 8 yards of him, and he's just slinging that thing. He's just heading the ball up for someone else. And it's like, I think he could have either passed it, he could have controlled it with his head and made a pass, or he could have brought it down. But he just seemed like he was, I guess, anxious, I will say.
He can be, and he was way more angsty in the first leg against Porto. That was the first time, I think, where we chatted about on the pod that Willow just looks a little out of place, a little too excited. The touch isn't there, the passing's not really there, and look, you forget, honestly, just with that deep voice and that stature, like, what is he, like, just 22, right?
Yeah, young man.
Young man with not a lot of Champions League experience, getting through the quarters. It's a night game. Those lights are on. Maybe he's really trying to just stay locked in on the ball and not miss the header. So I get that, man. But I agree with you. He's been a little off in some of these bigger games. But man, we'll get to it maybe. But let's just chat about this a little bit right now. The passion from him, bro. That's an Arsenal man, bro.
Arsenal man through and through. At this point, man, I love it. Runs past all the players straight to the fans behind. I think that is so funny. Just coming from him, he is the calm, cool guy, right? He's the guy in the background, arms folded, just posted up. Nah, in those moments, he's the one shouting at the crowd, Arsenal, 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 pointing at the badge. I love it.
Yeah, that was really cool. And let's see, I'm looking at some of these other talking points. I wrote here, J20 putting his body on the line, dude. He had a really good performance, I thought, and really helped serve as that architect, really helped kind of identify when their team was maybe onto some of our passing patterns and instructing others to kind of, hey, let's just switch things up a little bit, switch your positions a little bit. But I was just really impressed with some of the balls he won, and yeah, I mean that's an old body that he's sacrificing, man.
Yeah, Jorginho again putting in a performance. Last January is looking really, really good, man. Think about that. Last January, Trossard, Jorginho, Kibior, all 3 started this game. Last January is looking very, very good.
Yeah, no, that's so true. That's so true. Let's see.
I think
Uh,
the next one I wanted to talk about, I think you put this one
uh-huh.
down, was Saka. Saka can't beat this dude, bruh. He had a tough day against that left back. That left back actually played well, man. Wendell, other than his pen, which was actually a decent pen, Saka had kind of a tough go at that guy.
He had a tough go in the first game as well, and it got to the point where I think in the first game that player was actually too exhausted and had to ask for a sub. And in this leg, he kind of just picked it back up, dude. Yeah, he couldn't beat him, and he came inside, pause, a little bit on one of them, and he just got absolutely clattered, Saka, when he was running. So after that, he didn't really try to dribble inside as much, and then yeah, the one-on-one battle, he wasn't beating him, but to his credit, he doesn't necessarily have to beat them all the time. He's so good and dude, it didn't help he wasn't getting the calls either. That ref, going back to it, there was a few that was just such an obvious foul that he let go, but then if Saka did the same thing, he called it on him. It's like, are you kidding me? I was upset with the ref, man.
Yeah, Trossard's older brother is crazy, man. Had no control over what was going on. That was probably the only issue I had with Saka, was that I think somebody should have got a yellow card for fouling him, because it was continuous. Obviously, I don't want to say they were specifically targeting him. It's not like they were really going at him super, super hard or anything, but he was continuously on the ground. It would have been nice to see a yellow card for that. But hey, he was this dude was letting a lot of things slide.
Yeah. All right. Did you have a particular thing to share about Saka or no?
That is it. I think we jump right into the goal, baby. Leo. 41st minute. That was it. Immediately. So here in the US, so we're watching on Paramount Plus. I think it was Robbie Green was the announcer, and he's just chatting. He is chatting Porto up. He's giving Pepe love. He's loving the time wasting. He's, this is just this is their heritage, yada, just talking Porto up. And then this goal goes, and then finally he has to talk some stuff about Arsenal. It's like, oh, we made him eat a piece of humble pie here, which is funny. But what a slick play by Odegaard, bro. The captain. The captain
had a really good performance. He was chasing everything. He was winning second balls. And for that particular play, the way he carries it, basically makes 3 of them commit and then slips the ball behind. You have to give credit to Leo. That's not an easy finish, dude.
It is not. Side netting. The first touch. It's all about that first touch, though. That first touch, the way he almost killed that ball. He deadened it. Because I think Pepe kind of read what was happening. There's 4 Porto players that all got stunned, right?
Yeah.
Odegaard hit him with a flashbang. Those 4 guys got stunned. And then Pepe seeing what's happening, all that experience, he knows what's going on. But that first touch that Trossard had, killed that ball, slide it. I mean, that's the Henry finish, huh?
Yeah, I mean, all that experience for Pepe, and he still hasn't learned to close his legs, bro. I mean, that's what a mag, dude. I love a forward's goal that's a mag through a center back's legs, dude, or even a defender's legs. That's one of the hardest things to try to save as a goalkeeper, and it's also one of the hardest things to do because you have to keep the ball low on the ground and just slip it through, dude. And I'm a huge fan. That's just class, dude.
Absolutely. Huge moment. The release after that goal from the team, from the fans, you could just feel it. We're in this. It's the first half still. We're talking about the tension. Everything was just on a knife's edge. The goal goes in and you take a big breath. We got a whole half to go. So that was, to get that goal in the 41st minute, that's almost as good as you can draw it up, I'd say.
Yeah, let's talk about the timing of the goal a little bit more, because right before the half, as you say, and dude, it was crazy. They only gave +1 for that half, which, by the way, a minute and 48 seconds of it was wasted. Someone was injured, and he just blew the whistle immediately. So that was sus. I'll just say that. That's sus, bro. That's sus behavior, big man. And on top of that, it was cool. Right as we scored, they tried to play some mind games. and Declan Rice stood up to them. And that was also good to see from us, a little bit like, no, dude, don't just be chatting. Don't just be trying to get in our heads. It's a tie game now, big man. Why don't you try playing? Why don't you try playing football?
I'll say it again. This is a different Arsenal, man. It's just different. I think old Arsenal, we love the team, but like in the past, I think we were bullied at points, right? I think we were a team that could be bullied. I don't think we can anymore. We have people on the team that will stand up for the club.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really nice to see. I have to ask you though, so hypothetically, if it was still 0-0 at half, with the way the game was going, how confident would you have been that in the second half, we at least get one and push it to extra time, or maybe we still win this game?
That is a great question, Keon. You know what? I think I would be a glass half empty kind of guy at that point, to be honest with you. That's what's interesting about a game like this in a knockout. So we're in a knockout tournament. Did Porto ever really play to win? I feel like Porto played both games not to lose. It's different. You don't play games like in the league. You don't play games not to lose, really. I guess you play a lower league team, lower level team, but this is Porto. This is a team that's been in the Champions League year after year after year. Quality players on international squads. It's a real team. They're playing not to lose, so it's just different. If we had gone in at 0-0, I would have been half empty. I still think we would have a chance to score, but I know myself. I wouldn't have felt good about it at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you on that, dude. I felt like if it was 0-0 at half, one, my halftime notes would have been a lot more different, and two, I think that I would have given a chance of victory 30% at that point.
That's fair enough. I mean, going into extra time, I was on the socials looking at like game threads, Arsenal fans. People were not happy. People were not happy with the performance. I think after the game, I didn't have that feeling personally, but after the game, I feel what happened is such a good thing, I think, for the club. So hopefully they have some perspective now. But yeah, man, it's tough playing against a team like that, playing not to lose, doing everything they can. It's tough out here.
Yeah, I agree with you. At halftime, let me see. These notes are saying, yeah, getting one in the first was huge. 45 minutes to play. Let's go. Jesus, this is a reminder. You have to earn it. Leo is the backup to Nelly, dude. And Havertz played hard. I did think he played hard, and he had a lot of body checks in the first half and throughout the game, and he won a lot of aerial duels. That was really great to see. And yeah, there was no subs, but I personally wrote down that I want Jesus at the 60th minute, and at the 70th, give me Reece and Zinchenko, dude. I was all up on that, but we didn't actually get to see a sub until like the 80th minute.
Yeah, they came on late. I think at halftime, the only person I was probably looking at coming off was Trossard. To say that he had a bad game, I don't think is right. He did work his socks off. I just think something else needed to be out there. I think if Martinelli was here on Tuesday, I think he would have really shined. But also, I mean, Trossard got the goal, right? I've said it before, best finisher in the club? I think so. So if a moment comes to him, he'll take it. But he did look a little out of place at times.
At times, I agree with you, especially in the second half. I felt like, dude, just because he scored doesn't mean he has to play the full 90. That's kind of how I felt about it personally, but I hear you. Going into the second half, I think it was pretty tense, man, but there was one particular talking point, which we actually took the lead in open play, but it was chalked off. What did you think about that?
Ooh, initially, I thought we were hard done by, man. I really did. I was not happy. And then you watch the replay, and it's totally understandable. If he hadn't grabbed that jersey, no call. If they call it on the field, I think it goes to VAR and it's overturned. Because none of the contact he initiated caused Pepe and the goalkeeper to do what they did. But because he grabs the jersey, and he has a handful of it, and the camera's right there looking at it, it's totally understandable that if that's what's called on the field, it's going to stand because by definition, that's a foul, right?
Yeah, it's a really tough one. I think the angles were a little too clear So I agree with you, but at the same time, I wonder if the ref doesn't call it live. I don't really know the VAR standards at UEFA. Does it get the replay? Do they chalk it off? Maybe. It wasn't a huge deal, obviously, now looking at the end result, but I also felt very hard done live watching it. But I agree with you. I suppose if he really doesn't cause the mistake.
Yeah, I think that's the part of it, is like, why did you have to grab the jersey? He didn't have to grab the jersey. If he didn't grab the jersey and did the exact same thing, no problem. It's a goal. And it's excellent work from him. It's excellent work from him to cause that. But because he got a handful of jersey. Imagine if that had happened at the other end, though, bro. I would have been mad as hell. If someone had a number 30, that 30 who should have been on the yellow early, was grabbing on Gabriel, tosses, or then he falls down and right. I would have been mad. Like, I would have been like, that's a foul. So it's all right with me.
Okay. All right. All fair, dude. Raya made a save in the second half as well as the first half. This was the first game he's made a couple of saves in the game that haven't been offside, and I got to give him credit. He looked good throughout the night, dude. They had a couple of long crosses that he came out and he collected, and overall, I think his distribution obviously was top, and the saves were good, man. The saves were good. I got to give him credit.
Good saves. He had some really decent saves. The one in the first half was actually really good. I think you had written that down. Going to his left, that guy kind of had popped it around. I think it was Gabriel popped it around him. That was a really decent save. His distribution yesterday, I thought, was excellent. We won so many long balls. There were long balls that we actually brought down. No one, when Jesus came on off his chest, no one's kind of behind him. As people are getting tired, his distribution is just next level, man. Like, the dude's a player. He's just a player. So I'm really, and obviously we'll talk about what happened to end the game, but I'm really happy with him going forward.
Yeah, I hear you, man. All right, well, there was like 20 minutes left or so, and it was really intense. I was surprised still. No subs from either team, to be fair. I don't know if there was like a game of chicken going on with the managers to see like who makes the first sub.
It was interesting. They have Taremi.
Yes, dude.
When he came,
Persian phenom.
Yeah, that boy. No lie, when he came on, I was like, uh-oh. If he gets a sniff, he seems like the kind of guy that he's a striker. If he gets a sniff, he might put it away. Didn't actually get anything. Didn't get anything going. I think they said he's only played like 20 minutes since the new year. So I think he's been out. And he's been out.
He's been injured.
Asian Cup, right? But when he did come on, it is interesting. 70 minutes in, no subs. Did you have a different feeling? So you said halftime, you had those three people listed. I think at that point I was still only on the Trossard train, getting him off. Did you see anything else?
Honestly, it came to the point where I was so locked in, and I did not care anymore. There was a moment actually. So I told you guys it's a shared doc, so we're kind of writing in this live, watching on our own, and I recognized that your stream was ahead of mine.
Oh no!
Some of the talking points that were getting added when I would reload it, I was like, I haven't seen this yet. So especially once it got to the last 20, I just kind of closed my computer. So I was just like, I'll remember the talking points hopefully, and we'll go from there, because right now I can't risk anything, bro.
That hotel Wi-Fi was on fire yesterday, bro. That's funny.
Dude, the thing is, in the first leg, when I was watching it, my friend who's a Chelsea supporter, he called me, dude.
Did he spoil it? No,
this was the 93rd minute. He called me, and I was like, this guy doesn't really call me. Like, what's going on? So I answered the phone, and he's like, hey, what'd you think about that? It's like, oh no, are you telling me they're about to score, dude? And right then, like 15 seconds later is when I saw the goal. I was so upset. So I was like, this is not happening to me twice, bro. Wow.
Well, hey, let's give you credit for the game then. Maybe you corrected the jinx, man.
Something had to be done. 14 years is a long time, man. Let's see. Oh, I did right here that number 30 is a prick. He just looked like he deserved a yellow, dude.
He had that look too. And then Kai, so we're talking about the 70th minute. He got that yellow. I'm surprised it took that long for Kai to get a yellow card. Oh, no.
Yeah,
but the one you wrote here was on Pepe for him taking out Kai.
Pepe got a yellow for a dirty foul, dude. It was bad. It was late, and it was a real 40-year-old's tackle. But yeah, he finally got a yellow for all the beating he was taking. But did Kai end up with a yellow? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did end up with a yellow because he pushed that guy in the back. I think it might have been an extra time. That dude was a warrior yesterday. I honestly can't believe he didn't get a yellow until that point. Pushed the coach. He was kind of going in at people. Like he was all over. Like you said, he's throwing his body all over the place. Took until an obvious foul for him to get that yellow card.
He got a yellow in the 116th minute, dude.
And he pushed the dude in the back on a transition. He's just like, he was like limping and he just shoved him in the back.
I saw that. It's like, I have no chance. But that's what you get when you have that Champions League experience, bro. That's a professional foul, King Kai. I like seeing it. But speaking of the ref and his game management, dude, there was a total of 3 yellow cards. And 2 of them were to Arsenal, by the way. That's crazy. One of them came in the 116th. The other one came in the 40th minute to William Saliba just before we scored. And they got one in the 73rd. That was Pepe. I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. I also wanted to see a little bit more yellows.
Yeah. You wonder when you imagine when a ref goes into a game, they have a game plan, right? For this game specifically. It's going to be big. There's going to be a lot of emotion. And it's Porto. So you know what they're going to do. Like, what's the game plan? It seems like he had no game plan. He was just he's running off vibes, to be honest with you. Like, he just wanted to get in and get out. He's probably mad as hell. It went to penalties. He got the full 120. He's like, I did not prepare for this. I wanted this to be done in the 90, and I wanted one of these teams to roll over, which didn't happen. Interesting from him. I hope we don't see him moving forward. Not at all.
Yeah, I agree with you. And if we do, hopefully he gets more sleep than he did for this game. It looked like that man hadn't slept for 3 days, bro.
Oh yeah, Trossard's just older brother, man. So we had Jesus come on, immediately made an impact. Immediately. I think he had a shot. Yeah, he had a shot that actually led to a save, which was nice. For all that happened, not a lot of saves happening on either side. So RAYA made a few. I think their goalkeeper made a few, but there was no like extraordinary chances, no crossbars, no posts, anything like that. So those few and far chances in between, like you gotta capitalize on your chances. Right after Jesus' shot, Saka had one, didn't get in. And then I have 90 plus 2. I forgot Leo's still on. Bro, we were running up the right side basically the whole end of the second half. I would say probably the last 15 minutes. It's all up the right side, right side, right side, right side. It's like Trossard's out there taking a nap or something. We ain't even working the ball over there at all. No,
dude, the right side really does feel like our little security blanket. Like when the chips are down, dude, we're going to the right side. I agree with you. I cannot believe he played the 90, dude. I mean, the last note I wrote at the end of the second half is, I'm going to need Leo off, bro. So going into extra time, I got to ask, dude, what was on your mind? Did you feel like we were going to win it in extra time?
If there was going to be a winner in extra time, I thought it would be us. But if I was going to put my money on it, it was going to be Pens. That's the way I thought it was going to shape out. Porto's playing for Pens. They're playing not to lose. So they want Pens. I know that. And then us, we might push the agenda. And I respect Arteta for this a little bit. What happened? What happened in Porto, man? What happened? Late goal because we're trying to push the envelope. I think we had that sense of we don't need to force anything. We don't need to panic. Let's keep it controlled. Let's not make the mistake that costs us. So I do appreciate that. There was the free kick. It was either at the end of the first or the second extra time. And, it was like we knew that was it. Everyone kind of starts running forward. Like we're going to dink the ball in. Long free kick. And then we just ended up playing it short. And like referee, just blow the whistle. We're done. Like we don't want that smoke. So I appreciate that thought process.
Yeah, I agree with you. The whole extra 30 minutes, I just kept making my list of 5. I just kept thinking like, who do I want to take? Like, and that was actually when I had the thought of, Dude, has Leo just been staying on this whole time because like we want him to take a penalty? That's where my head went.
I also thought the same thing. Like if he was there, I think he would take one, but he wasn't. I'd have something from Orbinho. I love Orbinho on X. Says Arsenal managed just one shot in extra time, and then the ball was in play for just 66 of the 132 minutes played.
That's crazy. That second stat is crazy, dude.
Isn't that crazy? 66 of the 132. That's madness.
That's literally half, dude.
Yeah, and then one shot in extra time, and I think that just shows you probably the mentality of both teams. We might have been pushing a little bit, but I think the mistake was just we were scared to make the mistake to cost us the game. So let's try our chances.
That's true, dude. And I mean, the way the first half of the extra time went, I think I saw Zinchenko and Eddie trying to sub on in like the 110th minute, but they ended up just basically standing on the sideline until the whistle was blown. We kind of kept giving throwaways to Porto, so we couldn't make those subs. But anyways, it was nice to see those two. Come on, give it to me straight, bro. Was Eddie your number 5 goal penalty taker?
I've been thinking about who the 5th guy was, and I can't put my finger on it. I just can't. I don't know. Because on one hand, watching the game, I'm thinking it's probably Jesus. It's got to be Jesus. But his penalty record is terrible. And I knew if he came up with that 5th penalty, man, I would not have felt good about it. I just wouldn't have felt good. So who was your 5th? I really didn't have one. I can't put my finger on it.
Let's see. I wrote it down here. Let me go to page 4 of the doc. And what did I write here? Who do you want? I wanted Odegaard first, Saka second, Rice third, Kai fourth, and I actually had Eddie at 5, dude.
Wow. That's mad.
I had Zinchenko at 6.
Why is that? So I'm looking at our lineup to close the game. I probably would pick Zinchenko. That'd probably be my 5th. Why are you picking Eddie there?
I think I wrote Jesus. Oh, no. Sorry. I messed it up. Oh, Eddie was my 6th taker. Sorry. It was Odegaard, Saka, Jesus at 3rd, Rice 4th, and I had Kai taking the last one. And then I had Eddie and Zinchenko. I didn't see Jesus in there.
I'm gonna pull a crazy one out. Jesus, I'm telling you, I would not want to see him just for my own mental health. I wouldn't want to see I've seen Jesus miss pens. Okay. I think he's like got a 50% record or something. Not good at all. Zinchenko, I think, could take a pen. Do you know who can take a pen? And I'm gonna say who our 5th should have been. David Raya. I'm telling you, I think that boy could take a penalty.
Wow.
I'm telling
dude.
you, I think he could. Smash it.
Wow,
yeah,
dude.
Really
that's a shout, bro.
I think he'd smash that thing.
Yeah, I love a goalkeeper taking a pen. Personally, when it's in when I used to play FIFA, I would always pick the goalkeeper as my 5th taker.
Let him know. Let him know. I just think he's a baller. He's a footballer. I do think he could take a pen. He's got a good leg, man. I think he'd put it in.
Yeah. So let's talk about the pens a little bit more. I mean,
hey, no. We got to start with the pen. The question you've been asking. Penalties. We go to penalties. What's your thought? Who you got at that point?
Yeah, dude. On penalties, I thought we would win. I felt good going into penalties, dude. We have good penalty takers. And, I mean, we've already won the Community Shield over pens. And I feel like Saka, given what happened to him at the Euros, you just know that guy's spending extra time working on his pens. And it doesn't surprise me if another lad says, hey, I'm going to work on my pens today too. So that kind of thing is, it's addictive, right? And so I felt good. I felt good going into it. I also felt good. I'm going to be honest with you. I've said this before, dude. I think right when the transfer happened, I said, man, Ramsdale has never made a penalty save for us. Maybe we got Raya because he's better at penalties. I have seen him make penalty saves. And with that, I also felt good. I won't lie to you.
Okay.
I was worried about their goalkeeper, though, because I think that guy's good, bro.
I think he is, too. I think he has a good penalty record. I'll be honest with you. I was a glass half empty kind of guy.
You're so cynical, dude.
Yeah, man. That's just who I am. And it's not about our penalty takers. It was more about the keeper. And it's not about Ryan not making the stops. It's just, we have a terrible penalty record. Like, I just don't think historically, this is why we're changing the mentality around here, man. It's a new era. It's a new era. So, like, that's just my thought process. It's like, we don't do good in these. Raya, how many penalty saves have we had in the past? I don't see our keepers saving a lot of penalties. I have a stat here from TNT Sports. David Raya has saved more penalties in Champions League penalty shootouts than any other goalkeeper in Arsenal's history. 2. How about that?
Dude, he earned his stripes, man. He earned his stripes at this game. And I hear you. That's a crazy stat, dude. Because it's not like we haven't been in the Champions League for, like, we just haven't been there for the last 70 years. Before that, we were in for 20 straight years. You're telling me 20 straight years and nobody made more than one penalty save? That's crazy.
So you had your 5 then, or at least your 4. I'm glad Odegaard went first. That was my pick.
So I'll tell you the exact moment I knew we would win the penalty shootout. The ref did his coin toss. Yes, it was going to be kicked at the supporters. I was pretty hyped about that. But when I saw Odegaard say, we'll shoot first, I knew we were winning, dude. The way he said, we'll shoot first. And for me personally, I don't know where you stand on this. Like, as a manager, I used to always tell my team that when we're in the playoffs, we would work on penalties. And I would tell them, if we win the coin toss, we shoot first. I really believe in your team shooting first.
I think that is correct. I think you should shoot first. I think just the mentality thing. Having to go second, knowing what's happened in front of you, that's just another factor you have to deal with. You're shooting first. That's one less thing. As minor as that may be, right? We're talking about penalties here. It's mostly mental, right? So it adds a factor into your head. We'll shoot first. I love that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I also feel like if you go first, look, the first penalty is the hardest penalty by far. Like, it's not even an argument between first and fifth, right? But I think if your team misses its first penalty and you're the first shooter, it also gives your goalkeeper that kind of just immediate motivation that I was going to have to save one at least. I might as well just kind of be more locked in. And gotcha. If your goalkeeper does make a save, then that just gives you so much more confidence as the next shooter. Because you're like, dude, my goalkeeper also got that. Like, I can trust my guy, and I'll go and bury this. So that's how I felt about it. I'm with you, though. Odegaard taking the first one. Good pen, dude.
Good pen. All of them.
What was your favorite pen?
My favorite pen? It would actually go to Saka. I thought that was clean, man. I don't know if I'd ever seen him hit a ball that hard, to be honest with you. I think he wanted that real bad.
Not from the spot, at least.
No.
And I agree with you. That was also my favorite pen of the night. I think when you hit a pen like that and the goalkeeper was just stuck, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was stuck.
Spanked it. I mean, he just put his foot through it. It's like, I feel like taking penalties before, there's been games where walking up with the mentality of like, I'm gonna belt this. I'm just absolutely gonna belt it. Either the worst thing that can happen is I'm going to miss the frame because the goalkeeper is not going to stop this. If he gets a hand on it, it's going through. So he just put his foot through it. That's why I love a center back penalty, bro. I love a center back. For Inter today, Acerbi took one, just smashed it, left footed, just buried it, went down the middle. But it's like, if you want to put your face in front of it, that's cool, but just belt it. I like that mentality, man. None of that cute stuff.
Yeah, there's a crazy clip and this highlight from Harry Maguire. You know what I'm talking about? There's a penalty in the Euros that he just smashes in the bins, dude. It's nuts, man.
Big man things. But let's talk about, so we got our 4 pens. All of them are beauties, I think. I'm glad Havertz is on our team. He's got the experience with it, right? He's taken Champions League penalties before. Got Odegaard, sweet sweet as can be. Saka, he's redeemed himself from the Euros. We always got to mention that. And then Rice. I'm glad he took one. I had no clue about him taking a penalty. Never seen it before. But I felt really good about it. Like him walking up. Like I had a good feeling about that, no?
Dude, absolutely. It's like you think back to Manchester City in the last 5 years have had so many problems with penalties and like penalty takers. They've had so many different penalty takers. It's just like, can Kevin just take them? Like, Pep, dude. You're Pep, dude. You want me to write into you to say, have Kevin take it? That's crazy, bro. So that's how I felt about Rice. Because like, bro, this guy can... I just saw him smack one from 30 yards against Brentford and just rattle the post, dude. He can smash a pen.
We talked about it in the last episode. He can do everything, right? So, of course, he can take a penalty. He can do everything. All right, so then jump into the Porto ones. Raya. Big man things, bro. So the first one, he gets sent the wrong way, right? But then these 2 saves, and then he touches the other one. I think he was upset with himself that he didn't save it. But that, to me, the best save is the first save that he made. Off the fingertip. That was a good shot. Like that 1-1, that's a good shot. You have to read it correctly. He's out there quick, off the fingertips. I mean, it even went behind him. Like he had the potential to knock it into his own goal. That is a fantastic save.
I didn't think he had saved it. At first, I thought it just had hit the post and rattled on his back, dude, which I was so nervous on that.
Not like this.
Dude. I was like, no. But yeah, you watch it on the replay. He definitely gets fingertips on it, and it was nice. I'll tell you something else, man. We've seen a lot of pens, and you do sometimes just get a feeling. When that fourth shooter for Porto was walking up, I looked at my partner, and I was like, he's missing the goal. Like, the way he was, I was like, he's missing the goal. Watch this.
How
he's missing the goal.
Poetic, because he's the guy that had the banger on us in the first game. Poetic justice. You saw post-game, like the Thierry Henry thing?
I saw him, chatting the same shit as me. Mine actually happened, by the way.
They went to a clip. They're watching it in the box somewhere. And he's like, he's going to miss it. He's going to miss it. And he literally walks to the door. He didn't even watch. He walks to the door and opens it. And then they missed. And then he missed it. And then, like, yeah, I'll meet you guys down on the field.
Nah, he's that guy, dude.
Cold-blooded.
He's that guy. Dude, CBS, actually, Paramount they've been all over the socials, man. That crowd, they clown too much, bro. And somebody was bound to cross the line, big man.
They were wilding out yesterday. It was crazy. I'm sure, I didn't watch it today, but I'm sure they were a bit more tame.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the celebrations also were really nice. When Raya saves it, runs over to the fans, and there's like 3 Arsenal players who slide at the same time to him. And that looked so clean and so sweet to me, dude.
3 players that played 120 minutes or 132, whatever it was. You got Odegaard, Rice, and Benny Blanco. 3 dudes played all game, taking off. The thing about Ben White, like, oh, he doesn't like football. He doesn't watch it, yada, yada. You can't tell me this guy, he loves winning. Like, I don't care what you say. He loves this shit. He really does. You look at his face. He wants it. He loves the battle against Winger. He loves, obviously, winning these games, I think, just means a lot to him. So don't tell me, oh, he don't like football, yada, yada. He's just out there he ain't out there to collect a paycheck. Like, he loves this shit.
He does, dude. He lives for it, man. And you can really tell the way they're jogging, right? But then right at the end, they all start kind of sprinting to get speed for the slide. It's just like, here we go, boys.
Celebration. The scenes were great. Trossard, I think, said something to the Porto bench. There was a little hubbubaloo or whatever you want to call it at midfield with that. Yeah, I mean, obviously the subs come over. You love it. And guess who came out to play yesterday? The celebration police. They came out to play. You always know they got something to say.
Were they chatting on the socials?
Of course.
They crawled out of their little caves,
bro? Of
bro?
course they were. Arsenal won it.
I didn't see any. What were they saying?
I mean, just, Arsenal winning the game and acting like this is like they won the Champions League. It's just Porto. They're 3rd place in the Portuguese league. They're not even good. It's just Porto. Like, come on, man. Let us be happy. It's the first time in 14 years. We haven't been in the Champions League since 2017. Let a brother live.
It's just Porto is so lazy, dude.
It is.
Like, that's so lazy, bro. You don't know ball, bro. You're a lazy thinker, man. Lazy thinker. Just what's trending right now? Oh, I'll just repeat what everyone else is saying. Like this, collect the clicks, bro.
Absolutely. It's obviously just trolling at the end of the day, but you're just trying to bait somebody. But absolutely, it's super lazy. It's Porto. Like this ain't a nobody. They're playing not to lose the game. They know what they're doing. This is their mentality. So I don't like them at all. Like I don't want to ever play them again. But I respect that. At least they have a mentality, a system. Like this is what we do. This is our heritage. So you know what? It's good for the game. A little bit.
A little bit. It's good to have, diversity and inclusion. Everyone's welcome to the beautiful game, man.
Gotta have a bad guy.
Let's talk about man of the match, though. I don't really know. I don't know who the broadcasters gave it out to. Did you see?
I think RAYA got it.
Oh, okay.
And I would give it to RAYA, personally. That would be my pick.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's hard to argue against that when you save 2 pence, right?
Exactly.
Oh, I did want to ask you that. I think I agree with you. I just my honorary mention would be Odegaard, because I just felt like it was another captain's performance. He was all over the place, and without him, I'm not sure we unlocked them, dude.
100%. If I had to pick a field player, excluding the goalkeeper, Odegaard was the man yesterday. He's the leader. He really is. I think you look at a player like him, the class, the technique, right? What he threw a flashbang on 4 of them, okay? Sat them all down. But also, he's leading the line. Like, he's the one pressing. He's the one pushing everyone forward constantly. So not only is he probably one of the most technically gifted players on the field, he's running the most. He's the engine out there. Like, he's a captain, man. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's it. His engine is out of this world, dude. I can't even imagine running for that long at that speed.
You remember back in the day, he was only playing like 60 minutes a game?
Yes.
I wonder what was up with that.
Yeah, they didn't have enough data. So now they have more data to back their decisions. So that's great. Oh, on the pens, I wanted to ask you this. So David Raya dove to his left on all 4 pens. Do you think that was just by design, just knowing the players that are stepping up to take it and which way they go? Or is he just thinking, I'm going to dive to my left and like 1 out of 5 has to go that way, and I just got to kind of get it, right? And also maybe I'm better at diving to my left, because their goalkeeper switched up a little bit. He dove right on the first one. I think he went left. He would switch it up. Most goalkeepers do switch it up. But I just want to kind of bring this up to see if you had any perspective on it.
That is a really good point. I knew that he dove left all 4 times, but I didn't put much thought into it. That's a really good point. We don't see penalties enough, I don't think. A penalty shootout, right? It's a rare occasion. But that does add that little bit of mental. Let's talk about FIFA, right? A video game. It's just a video game. But when you go to a shootout, you know when someone's playing, doing something like that, going left every time. And then, boom, they hit the right, and they might block your stuff out of nowhere. Who knows if that added some mental piece to it? There's no way he goes left again. Like, there's no way, right? Like Porto thinking that. Who knows if that's just an added layer? I think, dude, that's a really good point. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even thinking about it from the player's perspective of he's dove left the last 3 times. No way he goes that way again. That's really funny. That's a fun perspective. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious about it. I think if I was a manager, I would definitely tell my goalkeeper something like that. Like, if we go to pens, I don't know. What's your strong side that you're better at diving at? Just dive that way every time, and you're gonna get one of them, right? Hopefully.
Yeah. So I'm saying it from the Porto perspective, but I think what you said is also correct. I go left every time. Someone is bound to shoot this way, right? It's gonna happen. So let's just go every time, and I will potentially block one. Interesting, man. I don't think we see depends enough to know. Who knows if there's statistics and analytics about it? I have no clue.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll draw Atletico Madrid and we'll get to see another round.
Don't say that.
Let's chat about that a little bit, dude. Obviously, all the games have finished and the Elite 8 is set for the Champions League. Who are all the teams? The teams are us, obviously, Arsenal, Bayern, PSG, Manchester City, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and Borussia Dortmund. Out of those options, and I think the draw is actually on Friday, or maybe it's on Thursday. We'll find out soon enough. But who do you want?
I'm going to throw it back to you. You tell me who you want. Let's hear it.
I want Barcelona, bro.
Ooh.
I really do, man. I want Barcelona. I want to see Mikel going back to Spain. I think that's a cool storyline. But also, I really want him to smack up Xavi, bro. I think Mikel is the golden child of the new wave of players turned managers. And, I mean, you think back to the Premier League, they were saying Frank Lampard is better than my manager, bro. They were saying Ollie's at the wheel is better than my manager, bro. So it's kind of the same thing. They're out here saying, like, Xavi's, this GOAT and all this stuff. But it's like, no, bro, my manager's that kid.
I love that. A little extra something to put on it. It's not, this is more than football.
It's about my manager.
Yeah, I love that. Who I would pick is Bayern Munich. I think we have some wrongs to right. I just remember back in the day I just have those memories of Bayern personally. Those memories, and then guess who's on their team? Harry Kane. I want to ensure he does not get a trophy. I don't think they're going to win Bundesliga. I want to ensure it. I want us to put our name on that. You're not getting this trophy, Mr. Kane. So that's who I want. I'll take Bayern.
That's a good shout, too. And hey, don't forget about Eric Dyer.
Two of them boys.
Two of them boys. Somehow I feel like Eric actually would feel better. Like, I mean, Kane is, he's still a good player. It's a footballing pod, dude. But Dyer, I always just found him a little out of pocket for his level, dude. So that's the one for me to just send home packing.
My favorite Eric Dyer memory is the one game when he ran up into the stands. I think someone was like talking to his brother or something, and he ran up like, "Yo, this dude's going crazy out here." It's like, if any of you, if there's no Americans listening to this, look up the Malice at the Palace, and it's the Detroit Pistons. It's a basketball game, and a fan like threw a cup or something. I think it was the Pistons and the Pacers threw a cup at a player, and the players ran into the stands, and it was a huge brawl. That's Eric Dyer in the stands like, oh, it's about to pop off.
Dude, that's so funny. What is it again? It's on YouTube?
Yeah, the Malice at the Palace.
Okay. That sounds I haven't seen that either, so I'll check that out after.
Yo, you gotta check it out. There's I think they have a little documentary on Netflix too. I mean, it's something you never see before. It's almost like, say, like Eric Cantona type situation.
Oh, when he just goes 2 foot into the fan?
Yeah, but the fans are also giving it back. Like, the fans are also trying to fight the players. It was crazy. I mean, the players obviously won it, but it became a situation where there's masses of fans and then there's just players. I'm probably talking this up too much. Yeah, but obviously they're big boys. And one of them got laid out. It was crazy. All right, so going back to the Champions League, who we got left? Who don't you want of those teams? To me, there's only one real standout. There's another team I don't want because I hate the way they play, but there's one team I really don't want.
I don't want Madrid. And I'm talking about the real one.
Why is that?
I don't want that one, dude. I think they're way too experienced in this tournament. And where we are, what we just got through, part of me feels like we would do well against a team like that, because they're going to come out, play us. We'll be playing football too, but I just think their experience and some of their players on the counter. I mean, Vinny Wentz versus Blanco would be a fun matchup, but I want to save that for the final.
I would love to pull Real, no lie. I think we can beat them. I think we could absolutely beat them. You saw that when they played against who they played, Leipzig. I don't think they're on their P's and Q's right now. I think we could do something against them.
Yeah.
I don't want to pull Atletico Madrid because I just do not like watching them play. I don't want to see Porto 2.0, so I don't want to pull them. But the team that I really, really don't want to see us pull is Manchester City. This is European football. you know how like we don't want to play Manchester City, man. I want to play a real club, you know, like a real historic club in here. Not just Manchester City.
Bro, say it with your chest, dude.
I mean, that's part of it, but also, you know how like mentally taxing that would be. Play a game with them at the end of March, and then you get to play 2 more. Like that'd be just too much, and it wouldn't mean enough to me. Playing a Real, playing a Bayern, playing a PSG, that means something. To me, that means something. We're in the European competition. This is what we have lacked to do for years. We've beaten City, right? Didn't we beat them this year? Is that right?
Let me check that. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we've done it before. We've been there. Let's do something new. So I don't want City.
That's fair. I don't feel as strongly about it as you do. I feel like playing them 5 times in one season is a lot, right? That could also happen domestically, though, right? Like in the FA Cup or a League Cup, we might draw them. But no, I don't feel as strongly about it. I actually look. They're the champions. They're the champions in both of the big tournaments remaining for us, and you're gonna have to beat them again and again and again. They're not going away, bro. So get used to it.
They're definitely
man.
not going away. Fair.
I do hear you that as a fan, it can become frustrating when 2 English clubs run into each other at a relatively earlier stage of the Champions League. I guess that's why when they do the groups, they kind of make sure that with the pots, you just absolutely avoid that. But this is kind of unavoidable. All right, cool, man. Yeah, I told you we were going to go an hour on this beat, bro.
It was a good one, man. It's such a good game. For being an ugly game, it just feels good. I think we're in a good place as a club. We saw some things happening. It's a new era. I feel like that is the tagline of this season. It's a new era. It's a new Arsenal, man. It is a new Arsenal. I'm happy with it.
I love that. And we better just leave it there, man. Thanks so much, everyone, for spending time with us. Hope you're happy and excited as we are, and you're just carrying on these good vibes for another couple of weeks until the big match in the league. But don't worry, in the meantime, we'll try to have a couple of special episodes for you dropping over the next couple of weeks. We'll have a special guest. I bet most of you can guess who that will be, because it will be a City preview pod. But yeah, in the meantime, if you like the podcast, please make sure you rate it and leave a review. It really does help with the algos. Also, share it on social. It's the best way for others to find out about us. And don't forget, you can write into the show, districtgooner@gmail.com.
Be easy.